Hello, and welcome to the Reselling Report for today, Monday, April 13th, 2020. I'm your host, Ann Eckhart, and every weekday morning I upload the Reselling Report here to YouTube to update you on the day's retail and e-commerce news, including the latest from eBay, Amazon, Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark. If you haven't done so already, I hope you'll subscribe. And now let's get on with today's show. Well, I hope everyone had a good Easter weekend, whatever that looked like where you are. I hope you were able to stay home. It was a nice, just quiet weekend, I think, for a lot of people, and maybe that's okay. I made a little Easter dinner for our two-person household. I had been planning on hosting an Easter gathering this year, but of course that didn't happen. I think we can all just say, hey, we lived through the Easter holiday during the coronavirus pandemic. It's something we can all have in our history books. So I did have a busy weekend of sales. My sales have been strong. I put my very best price on everything on eBay. Of course, I've been adding a lot of health and beauty items. Those things are selling quite well. So we had a busy weekend with packages going out. So I hope when you're reselling business that things are moving. Most people seem to say that things have been picking up lately, especially if you have hard goods. But I have been hearing from people who sell clothing that clothing's been selling too. So I think people have just gotten used to the fact that now we're at home, and a lot of retail establishments, their online stores are also shut down because they have such large warehouses and distribution centers that they've been deemed non-essential in wherever they are located. So they're not even able to do their online orders. So that leaves those of us who are resellers who sell on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, wherever, that people are coming to us. So I hope that your sales have been strong and that you're getting through your death pile. I have a big old honking death pile to get through. That's my goal for this month. What day is it, by the way? Are we halfway through April? Oh my goodness. I really want to get everything that I have listed. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens when the country opens back up. Sounds like it's going to be a while still, maybe through May now. It's just kind of a day by day until they get an effective treatment and or a vaccine for coronavirus. Well, here's an interesting story to start today's show off with, and it involves Poshmark and a scammer. This is something I've seen posted on Instagram a lot regarding Poshmark scammers. And this recent one was posted by somebody with the screen name Just a Bit of Everything 99. They posted on Instagram that they had purchased $1,500 worth of YSL bags, a MacBook, and an iPhone from a seller on Poshmark. The person had listed 5 different listings at $500. This Just a Bit of Everything offered them $300 on each. So $1,500 worth of items, and the sellers shipped them. However, the items never arrived, and tracking showed that they were eventually going to a Target store. So long story short, Just a Bit of Everything 99 is saying that the seller deliberately shipped these items to Target, where of course they would not accept them, in the hopes that the post office would count the packages as being lost, that Poshmark would refund the buyer, but that the seller, the scammer, could keep the money. In this case, the post office actually found the packages and delivered them to Just a Bit of Everything 99. When she opened them up, they were empty except for a sucker was inside. So she was able to submit everything to Poshmark, and she was able to get a complete refund on her order. She said that was the reason she went ahead with it in the beginning, is she kind of thought it was a scam, but she knew that Poshmark would refund her. And thus far, I think the seller might still be on Poshmark. Now, the seller blocked her, but other people have gone onto this person's account. So it's just interesting. This isn't the first time I've seen this kind of bait and switch posted about on social media in regards to Poshmark, since Poshmark will back up both buyers and sellers. But in this case, the seller thought they could pull a fast one by essentially getting these packages lost, knowing the buyer would get refunded directly from Poshmark, but that as the seller, they thought they could keep the money. It didn't work out for them in this case. But man, that is bold. Number one, to do that anyway, but also to actually send the boxes with a sucker inside. That's just evil. don't know. Have you ever been a victim of a scammer on Poshmark? Let me know. And if so, did Poshmark take care of you? Now with eBay, if this had happened, I think eBay would have backed up the buyer for sure. The seller, I don't know. But yeah, this was an interesting little tidbit going on over on Poshmark. If you have been trying to access the Paycheck Protection Program loan that the SBA is offering due to the coronavirus outbreak, you've likely ran into problems. A lot of people are having a difficult time accessing just to get to the application for this program. PayPal, however, has now been approved to provide access to the Paycheck Protection Program loans. According to a press release, they are now providing access to small business loans through the SBA Paycheck Protection Program. This follows approval from the SBA for PayPal to participate in the program as one of the first non-bank institutions. This article quotes PayPal as saying small businesses have been hit especially hard by the coronavirus crisis. There's an urgent need to help every qualified business access the funding needed to ensure that as many workers as possible keep their benefits and paychecks. This is a race to save jobs in the present and for the future, said Dan Schulman, president and CEO of PayPal. Now, with the Paycheck Protection Program, what this does, it loans money to small businesses so that they can keep their employees on the payroll even if they are not open. And then when this is all over and things reopen again, if they kept their employees on payroll, the loan would be forgiven. So banks, though, however, were kind of unprepared for all of this to come down. Some banks are saying you can only apply for a loan through them if you were already a customer of them. So it's been a big mess, but for those who sell online, if they're on eBay, they likely already are signed up with PayPal, have a relationship with them, and might find it easier now that PayPal is able to process these loan applications and eventually actually distribute the loans themselves. Turning now to Amazon, a post on the Amazon Services Sellers Forum is entitled Pausing Account Suspension for Order Performance. So this post says, similar to how Amazon is working to get our fulfillment capabilities back to regular operations, we have heard from many of you that are also facing challenges in running your businesses. To protect your account and ensure these supply chains and fulfillment difficulties do not impact your account health, beginning March 20th, we stopped suspending seller accounts for high cancellations or high late shipment rates. Effective immediately, we are also stopping suspension of seller accounts for high order defect rates. These changes will stay in effect through May 15th. We will continue to evaluate the situation and let you know if we will extend this further. Making reliable promises for customers remains particularly important at this time, and so we appreciate everything you are doing to fulfill your orders successfully, and we encourage you to put your account on vacation if you are not able to do so. If you are fulfilling and shipping your own products directly to customers, they then put a link to get a reminder of their policies and best practices, and then forums to direct questions to. So this is for those who are doing merchant fulfilled and not able to get orders out on time, or maybe they've run out of product for whatever reason and didn't get their listings updated. This is to protect them. So this doesn't affect you if you are shipping into FBA. That's Amazon's responsibility. Amazon shipping is very slow. I had something that I ordered last week. I think it might come this week. I had to order a new sheet. I don't think that's coming till 2 weeks from now. I know that my books, the paperback books that I sell through Amazon, they print those books on their end. So when somebody orders a book, they print it. The printing is way backed up. So Amazon's got their own problems fulfilling orders. So it's nice to hear that they're giving those who sell merchant fulfilled a bit of a break during this time when everybody, I think, is struggling to keep up with this temporary new normal. There have been some articles floating around on the internet about the post office basically going under during the whole coronavirus crisis. Now, the post office has been in trouble for a long time financially. They're partially supported by the government, but then they also have to raise their own money. It's a complicated situation. I personally feel like the post office is an essential service and the government should fully support them. That's just me. But the post office did post a statement online that says, Postmaster General Statement on U.S. Postal Service Stimulus Needs. The men and women of the United States Postal Service provide an essential public service and bind the nation together as part of the country's critical infrastructure. At least 6 days a week, and in some instances 7, Postal Service employees accept, process, transport, and deliver vital mail and packages like medicine, products that sustain us, benefits checks, and important information in every community to every home and residence, and we will continue to do so. As Americans are urged to stay home, the importance of the mail will only grow as people, including those in rural areas and senior citizens, will need access to vital communication, essential packages, and other necessities. We are at a critical juncture in the life of the Postal Service. At a time when America needs the Postal Service more than ever, the reason we are so needed is having a devastating effect on our business. The Postal Service relies on the sale of postal products and services to fund our operations, and these sales are plummeting as a result of the pandemic. The sudden drop in mail volumes, our most profitable revenue stream, is steep and may never fully recover. We now estimate that the COVID-19 pandemic will increase the Postal Service net operating loss by more than $22 billion over the next 18 months and by over $54 million over the longer term, threatening our ability to operate. As Congress and the administration take steps to support businesses and industries around the country, it is imperative they also take action to shore up the finances of the Postal Service and enable us to continue to fulfill our indispensable role during the pandemic and to play an effective role in the nation's economic recovery. We are grateful for the heroism and commitment of our 630,000 postal employees who continue to serve the American public during this pandemic, and we look forward to working with policymakers on ensuring the solvency of the Postal Service. And that was from Megan Brennan, the Postmaster General and CEO of USPS. And I wholeheartedly agree. My eBay business is fully dependent on the post office. I can't remember the last time I shipped via UPS, and I never shipped FedEx. So I need the post office to keep running. I know all of you who sell online, most of us, the vast majority of our shipments go via the post office. So I hope, just like other major industries are getting help, we certainly need the post office to continue, not just for our own individual businesses, but for all of the necessities, including what was described in the post office official statement. Turning now to Etsy, according to a post on the Etsy seller forum from Raina's Magic Shop, who's a community manager, says, "We want to hear your experience with U.S. government COVID assistance programs. As many of you know, one of the U.S. government's programs to help small businesses, the Payroll Protection Program, starts accepting applications from the self-employed and independent contractors today. We worked hard to ensure Etsy sellers are covered by COVID relief programs, and we want to hear how the application process is working for our sellers. Have you applied for the government assistance to help weather the COVID crisis, like unemployment or small business loans? We would be so grateful to hear your story if you're willing to share it." And then they have a link where you can let them know if you have applied. I have heard from a lot of people who've been trying to get online to apply for, there's the $10,000 grant. I did apply for that one. According to the fine print, I would get $1,000 because you get $1,000 per employee. If I even get that, I'm not holding my breath. I did go on and try to see what the unemployment situation looked like, but the unemployment state sites, I don't think any of them are up yet. They're supposed to be up this week, but I think they were supposed to be up last week or the week before. So I don't know. I have yet to hear from anybody in the reselling community who's been able to successfully access any of these programs. But if you are an Etsy seller and you have, then they want to hear from you. I will link this post as well as everything I talk about in the show notes below the video. So if you want to go and fill out this form, you can do that. While sales for clothing and hard goods kind of slowed down in the first days of the coronavirus outbreak, it seems that things have picked back up. Again, people are just kind of realizing they're going to be at home right now, and those with money to spend are now spending it online. According to an article over on the e-commerce Bytes blog entitled "How COVID Has Changed Shopping for Antiques and Collectibles," they spoke with a seller who sells on Ruby Lane. Now, that's something I don't know anybody who sells on Ruby Lane. Do you ever sell on there? I never even looked into it. But according to this article, it says the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted retail along with all facets of everyday life. Online shopping is no exception, but how are die-hard collectors coping, and how is it impacting online sellers and antique dealers? We checked in with Palmer Picaric to find out what changes he's seen at antiques and collectibles marketplace Ruby Lane. Sales are steady on Ruby Lane as shoppers are seeking items that provide comfort, specifically nostalgic items such as dolls and anything doll related. Other items that bring back memories of yesteryear are doing well, including fun games from the 50s, 60s, 70s, vintage barware, and jewelry. It sounds like some people are living it up as they work from home. This gentleman said items that have price points under $750 are selling more right now. Well, I would think so. Who's got anything for sale for $750? And some of the larger, more expensive items are taking a little longer to sell as people are being more cautious about big ticket spending, which he referred to as $7,500. I referred to $750 as big ticket spending, but that's just me. The article goes on to say, as for Ruby Lane dealers, shop owners are bringing more inventory online. In addition to shop owners devoting more time to their online shops, Ruby Lane is seeing new sellers on the site. We have seen new and exciting listings come to the site. We believe shop owners are taking spring cleaning to a new level and seem to be discovering hidden treasures tucked away in storage closets at home. Possibly helping Ruby Lane attract more inventory is the fact it doesn't charge listing fees. What? Ruby Lane, where have you been all my life? It also recently announced a reduction in maintenance fees for April and May to relieve some of the stress shop owners may be experiencing. While this is an important revenue stream for Ruby Lane, we anticipate we still have options for short-term small business loans to keep operations due to this loss in revenue. FedEx, USPS, and UPS are still working around the clock to pick up and deliver buyer items, and sellers are taking safety precautions when packing and shipping. And home pickup has been very helpful in keeping shop owners at home and healthy. Asked how COVID-19 impacted Ruby Lane itself, he said that the team has worked on from their respective home offices for over 20 years, and they continue to work every day of the week. Our entire team is working to keep sellers selling and buyers buying. This has been a time of creative solutions. In addition to the discounted monthly maintenance fees for sellers, he said Ruby Lane brought discounted shipping programs back to the forefront. We asked what advice Ruby Lane could offer sellers dealing with the current challenges. They said keep listing items and work your shop from the safety of your home. For many of our sellers, this is a full-time occupation. Staying safe and healthy is the most important path to follow. Be patient. We believe that sales will return to higher levels in the not-so-distant future. And when looking ahead to September 2020, what does Ruby Lane expect to see when it comes to online shopping and selling? We believe more sellers will be online selling than ever before. Some brick-and-mortar shops will move their operations out of traditional spaces to online marketplaces. Many buyers and sellers have realized that ordering online, from groceries and collectibles to paint and clothing, is easy, safe, and alleviates the need to fight traffic and crowds. It also saves unnecessary overhead costs. Our greatest hope, however, is that life returns to a place that welcomes socialization and promotes good health. Now, who now is going to run over to Ruby Lane and check it out? I've heard of it, but I didn't even realize it was a site where individuals could sell. Where have I been? Do you sell on Ruby Lane? Let me know. And finally, today I wanted to share an article I found over on countryliving.com entitled 80s Laura Ashley Dresses Are Now Worth Hundreds on Etsy and eBay. Tell your 1980s girlfriends to raid the attic like right now, Jennifer. If you know, you know. There was a period of time in the 1980s when everyone in your peer group likely looked like they had wandered off the Little House on the Prairie set. Yes, I remember. Think Gone Girls or Girls Gone Wilder. From gravity-defying puffed sleeves to not particularly flattering dropped waist to a bona fide bouquet of chintzy prints, the Laura Ashley look was all the rage with 1980s fashion-forward folks who said things like, all the rage, typically paired with white Keds and white ankle socks or salmon Libby flats. The dresses evoked a certain prairie prep. And ladies, gather ye rosebud prints. The Laura Ashley look is back, and your stash may be worth serious cash now that tastemakers are coveting sweetheart necklines and floral prints reminiscent of Meemaw's curtains. With backyard chicken coops gaining traction with suburbanites, needlepoint and cross-stitch kits finding favor with young professionals, and the rise of cottagecore, a movement devoted to rural life, is it really any surprise that prairie style is now dominating the runway, or that their entire Instagram feeds devoted to vintage Laura Ashley apparel? But wait, why hundreds? Seriously, while there as of now, cheaper ones to be found on Etsy, a $64 brushed cotton purple high neck is currently sitting in 12 people's carts. There are also hundreds of Laura Ashley dresses listed on eBay and Etsy in the $250 and $500 range, not to mention quite a few being sold for heftier sums. Think dresses with more intricate embroidery. Honestly, though, many of them are a steal compared to the designer prairie dresses that flounced and frolicked their way down the spring 2020 runways. Our advice, raid your attic now if you're eagerly resell on eBay, and consider reaching out to Laura Ashley enthusiastic vendors like Etsy dealer Bridget Drinkwater, who runs an Etsy shop devoted to old school Laura Ashley threads, to see if they want first dibs on your discards. And with that, I am going to wrap up today's show, let you guys all run over to Ruby Lane and look for those Laura Ashley dresses in your own attic. If you liked today's show, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me your questions and comments. Also, check out the show notes below the video for links to the articles I referenced. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk with you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.